Most men think women want effort, but effort without presence is noise. You try. You think you're doing it right. You text on time. You reply fast. You remember her cycle. You give the right gifts. You listen, comfort, reassure. You do it all. Then one day, she starts fading. Fewer replies. Eyes no longer linger. And finally, she's gone, like she was never there. You feel confused. You ask yourself, what did I do wrong? I wasn't bad. I was good. No, you weren't bad, but you were predictable. You didn't fail. You were just hollow. Most men misunderstand the nature of attraction. They think it's something to do, more action, more effort. But the harder you try, the more you lose the one thing that makes her stay. Masculine presence. You serve, you give, you're always available. And that makes you invisible. Because women don't respond to how much you do. They respond to who you are when you do nothing. Modern men are taught, to be loved, you must deserve it. You must prove. You must perform. You must become a good man. But she doesn't need a good man. She needs a grounded one. You need to know this and carve it into your mind. Presence creates connection, not effort. Calm creates safety, not pleasing. Your energy speaks before your words. Your stillness gives her space to be herself. The more you chase validation, the less weight you carry. The more you try to show who you are, the less she feels anything real. So stop, breathe, be here. Don't talk too much, don't chase, don't prove, just be. With calm, with gravity. If you're too available, you're invisible. Men aren't meant to serve, men are meant to be present. 1. Touch comes before word. Words don't create connection, touch does. Men often believe connection starts with speaking. Say the right things, say them wisely, say them gently. But something happens before words ever reach the mind. Sensation. And sensation comes from touch. You can say all the right words, she might smile, nod, but if her body doesn't respond, the connection hasn't happened. A light touch on the shoulder, the wrist, the back. Right moment, right place, no rush, no permission. And everything shifts. Not because touch is a tactic, but because it's the primal language of safety. This isn't about arousal, it's about grounded presence. When you touch without wanting, without taking, you speak with your body, I'm here, I'm steady, I need nothing. Her nervous system feels that, before her mind does. You know why most men fail? They keep talking and talking, but their body says nothing except fear. They won't touch, or they touch at the wrong time, or too fast, trying to get something. Women feel all of it. Here's how she responds without words. If she feels safe, her body leans toward you. If not, she pulls back, not out of hate, out of instinct. The right kind of touch doesn't take skill, it takes presence. You must be fully there and fully okay with going nowhere. Touch, not to reach, touch to be. When you can touch without pushing, without the hunger to control, you become a place where she can soften. And that softening is where real connection begins. Don't try to make her feel comfortable. Be the kind of man she naturally feels comfortable beside. A light brush through her hair, an unconscious touch while laughing, a steady hand on her back in a crowded space. These things seem small, but they leave traces on her nervous system. And when her nervous system remembers you, you're no longer a stranger. You become her sense of safety. Reach her nervous system before her body, or you'll never get either. 2. Flirt without needing to win. Flirting to win is the fastest way to lose. You start a conversation, throw in a few jokes, you hold eye contact, use a bit of body language. All of it works. Until she senses you're trying to win. Then you've already lost. Most men flirt for validation. They want her to laugh, to hear they're clever, to get a signal back. Flirting becomes a game of ego, and that's when they lose their natural pull. Women aren't drawn to men who try to make them laugh. They're drawn to men who laugh genuinely with themselves first. A grounded man doesn't flirt to conquer. He flirts because he's enjoying the moment. He feels light. He expects nothing. He keeps no score. He's relaxed, but not careless, playful, but not aimless. You know the biggest difference between the two kinds of men? One flirts with the mindset, what can I do to make her like me? The other flirts with this question, do I enjoy how it feels to play with her? True attraction comes from energy that asks for nothing. You tease gently, with no need for reaction. You hold a look, not to test, but to see. You step back, not to manipulate, but to notice if she's attuned enough. To follow. It's the rhythm of tease, pause, withdraw. Like waves, rise, hold, recede. And if she's still intrigued, she'll step in. You're not chasing reactions, you're setting the emotional tone. Men are taught to lead, but leading isn't doing everything. Leading is creating space and letting her walk in. Maybe you tease her about her favorite dish. You like that? Tragic. Your taste buds might need saving. Then you stop. No staring, no big laugh, no waiting. You release, then retreat. It's not a trick. It's an energy frame. It tells her, I don't need you, but if you step in, I might be unforgettable. Tease, pause, withdraw, let her lean in. 3. Touching her hair, a matter of precision. A man who knows when to touch her hair owns the moment. Most men don't think much about hair. They notice lips, eyes, curves, but they miss one of the most emotionally sensitive parts of a woman. Not physical, emotional. Her hair. Touching her hair, when understood, is one of the subtlest signals of intimacy. It's not sexual, not provocative, but it's enough to burn your presence into her nervous system. Hair isn't just matter, it's personal space, it's identity, it's where she places her beauty, her softness, her pride. If you touch it without timing, without presence, she pulls away. Touch it right, you leave behind an emotional trace. Picture this. You're in conversation, eye contact steady, distance held, and in a quiet moment, you gently sweep a strand from her cheek. Slow, intentional, no explanation. Don't say, your hair was messy. Don't smile it off. Don't ask permission. You do it like you belong in that moment. Not because you own her, but because you're grounded enough to know what the moment allows. Touching hair is not technique, it's sensitivity. The more tuned you are to energy, the more you know when not to, and when you must. Some men touch her hair like ticking a box of closeness. They think it proves intimacy, but if she's not ready, it feels like a breach, not a connection. The rule is simple. Don't touch to test. Touch because you already feel the answer. Timing, eye contact, space, energy, all must register before your hand moves. And when it moves, there's no hesitation. You send her nervous system one clear message. You know exactly what you're doing. The right touch is safety plus pull. The wrong touch is intrusion plus disconnection. What does Stoicism say? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Stop debating what a good man should be one." In that moment, you don't ask if you should touch. You become the man the moment calls for. Don't play with her hair, play with the tension. And when the moment is right, break the tension with one quiet touch. 4. The hand on her back, leading without words. Real dominance doesn't need volume. You don't say, I'll protect you. You don't ask, can I hold your hand? You don't need permission to exist. Just a calm hand on her back at the right moment. And her nervous system knows, this man can lead. With him, I can relax. Shh. You walk beside her. The two of you are about to enter a crowd. You take half a step ahead. Your hand finds her back, guides her through. Not possessive, not clinging, not explained. And in that second, she knows. Knows you're in front, knows you're aware, knows you manage the moment without managing her. Women read the smallest things. The details men forget are where she feels the deepest. A hand on her back in a noisy crowd, a light nudge through a doorway, a gentle stop when a car comes near. No words, but she remembers. She notes it. She sees the silent intention. Most men mess up one of two ways. Too afraid to touch, worried it's too much, no frame. Touching too often, too hard, too soon, no safety. The right touch doesn't seek a response. It comes, it leaves, like wind. It's brief, it's deliberate, then it's gone. That's power. Remember this. You don't touch to hold. You touch to say, I'm here. If you're ready, I'll lead. You- the hand on her back isn't intimacy. It's quiet authority. I see, I'm ready, but I don't need control. You can relax, but I ask for nothing. Stoic philosophy calls it still power. You act, not to impress, but because the moment calls for it. She doesn't want a man who holds on tight. She wants a man who walks ahead and makes space. A real man never asks, how do I make her feel safe? He lives in a way that his presence is safety. She follows not because you push, but because you lead in silence. 5. The guardian, not to fix, just to stay. She doesn't want to be fixed. She wants to be held. She's upset, frustrated, certainly with their crying over something that doesn't make sense. You panic, you think, I need to do something. I need to say something. I need to explain so she calms down. And right there, you lose your frame. Most men fear a woman's emotions, not because they're weak, but because they don't know how to stay in the chaos. That's why she can't trust you yet. A real man doesn't get pulled into her storm, doesn't try to fix it. He stays, unshaken, no rush to stop it, no need to win the logic. He holds the frame while she falls apart. Because sometimes a woman doesn't need someone who gets it. She needs someone who doesn't crumble when she does. Do you know why so many women say, I don't need you to fix it, I just need you to be there? Because steady presence during her storm is rare, and it speaks to something primal inside her. How do you become that man? Don't react to emotion. When she cries, you don't panic. When she lashes out, you don't swing back. Keep your voice low, your pace slow, your eyes steady. Her nervous system needs you to stay still, not speed up. Don't offer solutions. Don't try to bring her back to normal. What feels normal to you may not feel safe to her. Hold your frame so she has something to lean on, not to collapse into, but enough to let it out. You're not the fixer. You're the one strong enough not to collapse when someone else does. Marcus Aurelius once said, be like the rock that waves keep crashing over. It stands, and the raging waters fall still around it. That's the guardian, not the one who carries everything, but the one who stays grounded and doesn't drown. Be like a mountain in a storm, still, but never powerless. The new your frame, and they stay loose. You don't need to do anything. Just stay. Stay with a clear head. Stay with a steady body. Stay with eyes that say, you can rage, you can hurt, but I won't disappear. And that dot is what she won't walk away from. 6. The beard, a signal of presence. A beard doesn't make you masculine, but the man behind it might. Not every woman prefers a man with a beard, but nearly all respond to a man who wears one with intention. Because a beard isn't just facial hair. It's a signal of what you allow yourself to become. When you grow it and keep it sharp, firm, deliberate, it says, without words, I'm not here to please. I'm no longer a boy chasing approval. I am a man, and I live like one. But let it grow wild, neglected, she sees that too. Not strength, but collapse. Women don't need the beard, they need the frame. And when worn with presence, the beard becomes part of that frame. It tells her, you don't follow trends. You don't live to be liked. You don't need the crowd to feel valid. You stand alone. You carry something primal, with discipline, and she feels it, not with logic, but with her body. She brushes her fingers along your jaw. She smiles when it grazes her cheek. She can't explain why, only that it feels raw, strong, real. That's instinct. That's contrast. Soft meets solid. Feminine meets masculine. That's what makes her want to melt into you, not analyze you. Here's what most men miss. The beard doesn't replace you. It reflects you. If you live without spine, without aim, it's just stray hair. But if you move with purpose, with principle, with energy, like stone, then the beard becomes the first mark of it. Epictetus said, know who you are, then show it. A beard won't give you strength, but it will reveal the strength you already have or lack. Wear your beard like armor or shape. 7. Laughter, the language of the subconscious. Laughter is more intimate than touch. Touch her, the body responds. Look at her, the heart might stir. But make her laugh from deep within, that's when you anchor yourself in her mind. Laughter is a gateway into the nervous system. No act, No control, no strategy, just the right moment, the right energy, the right tone for her mood. And suddenly, walls collapse, distance dissolves. It's no longer you and her, just two people sharing one pulse of joy. Most men forget this, too busy quoting, brooding, playing philosopher. But you know what makes a man unforgettable? He drops a line, effortless, light, and she breaks open, laughs hard, laughs free, and in that laugh, her hand finds yours without thinking. Because when a woman laughs unguarded, she relaxes, and when she relaxes next to you, that's the deepest kind of closeness, with no need for touch. You don't have to be a comedian, you just have to notice, spot what no one else does, say it with calm, with ease, with no attempt to be funny. Then, boom, the laugh comes, the bond begins. That's not technique, that's unchained masculine energy, a man not crushed by life, still able to play. Women live in feelings, they won't recall what you said. They'll remember how it felt to be near you. And if it felt light, safe, judgment-free, she'll return. Not because of logic, but to feel that again. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." A man who can turn weight into laughter is a man with inner power. Make her laugh, not to impress, but to disarm. Because once she laughs with you, she never sees you the same again. 8. Dream. Direction is magnetic. If you're living for her, she'll leave. If you're living for purpose, she might follow. You want her to admire you? Don't look at her. Look forward. Women aren't drawn to worship, not to flowers, not to sweet words. They move toward a man in motion. No pulling, no explaining, no inviting. Just the silent force of someone chasing something larger than himself. A man with a dream carries weight, not because of what he earns, but because he wakes up with a reason. That reason is a compass, is fire, is the path. And a woman, she can feel the heat of that dream just by being near you. You think, if I love her enough, she'll stay. Wrong. She doesn't leave because you didn't feel enough. She leaves because, with you, she doesn't feel movement. If you orbit around her, if she becomes your center, you've stepped down from your role as guide. A man with purpose doesn't ask for permission. He doesn't need support or belief. He moves, he builds, he leads. And that is what earns her respect. She may test you, she may resist, she may ask, "Do you choose me or that work?" If you choose her, she knows you can be swayed. If you choose the dream, she may cry, she may fight, but deep down, she knows, I'm with a real man. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle is the way." A man who lives by that doesn't wait for ease. He builds what matters, even when no one claps. Purpose is your gravity, and gravity doesn't chase, it pulls. You don't need to demand affection, you just need direction. Direction creates gravity. Gravity pulls people in. No effort needed, just movement. 9. Listening, the silent weapon. Your silence, if full of presence, is louder than words. You think you're a good listener? You sit still, nod, sometimes say, "I get it, go on." And then, not enough. She doesn't need a nod. She doesn't need, "I understand." She needs a man solid enough to hold silence without losing ground. Most men listen to reply, to fix, to prove they care. But real men listen to touch. When she speaks, you look. You breathe slow. You don't interrupt her feeling. You let her drift inside the space you anchor with stillness. She says 10 things. You remember the quietest one. That offhand line about her childhood. The glance that dropped when she mentioned her mother. The pause when the past caught up to her voice. You catch it. You don't ask. You don't analyze. You don't explain. You hold it. And then 3 weeks later, you reflect it back. Not with big words, but with a quiet gesture, a sentence, a moment of knowing that needs no translation. She's stunned, not because you speak well, but because no one has ever stayed with her like that. When a woman feels heard, not by ears, but by the field of presence a conscious man holds, she lets go. No reason needed, no defenses raised. You don't need the right words. You need a presence that doesn't flinch. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we may listen twice as much as we speak." True. But Stoicism goes further. It teaches you to stay grounded when others lose their center. So when she says, "I don't feel heard," she doesn't mean you didn't answer. She means the energy you brought couldn't carry what she needed to release. Don't try to understand women. Just listen deep enough that they forget they need armor. Let her speak until her armor falls, then say nothing. Just be there. 10. Controlled impulsiveness, keeping the fire alive. Predictability is safe, but desire lives in mystery. You do everything right. You text consistently. You show up on time. You ask, but not too much. You're steady, mature, considerate. And yet, she drifts. Why? Because nothing's wrong. But nothing makes her heart race anymore. She doesn't leave because you're not good. She leaves because she can predict everything you'll do. Yes, women need safety, but total safety kills attraction. She needs to trust you, but she also needs to feel she can't fully pin you down. That's the art of controlled impulsiveness. Not chaos, not immaturity, but the power to create moments without explanation. A sudden turn on the road. Get in. There's something I want to show you. A kiss in the middle of a random sentence. A night where you say nothing ahead of time. You just show up with a look that says, "I'm done with plans. I need new air. Are you coming?" You don't have to do it every day, just enough so she knows you're not fading into routine. It's not to shock her, it's to keep things alive, to keep movement, to keep fire, to keep your ability to make her feel. Women live through feeling. They don't remember the perfect plan. They remember what surprised them, made them laugh, took their breath, reminded them they're alive. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Part of the art of living is to accept the unexpected without resistance." It's not just about endurance. It's about knowing when to break the structure, to reconnect with essence. Be rooted, but not rigid, stable, but alive, still, but always capable of creating fire. She stays. Not because you're right, but because with you, things still feel. Turn a quiet Tuesday into a memory. That's how you stay unforgettable. You've made it through all 10 parts. No techniques, no pickup tricks, just what a man truly needs to remember. But no one ever told him. Real attraction doesn't come from what you add, it comes from what you strip away. Strip away the rush, strip away the need to prove, strip away the quiet insecurity you've been carrying. You don't need to say more. You need to know when to stop speaking. You don't need to love better. You need to stay when love stops being easy. A woman doesn't need you to read her mind. She needs you to hold your ground when her world spins. No fixing, no analyzing, no stepping in. Just stand. Stand like stone. Stand like a tree. Stand like no matter what happens, you remain yourself. She doesn't need someone to solve the problem. She needs someone who stays grounded when things fall apart. That's a man. Not in words, not in gifts, not in tactics, but in the quiet power of needing nothing from her. You're not here to be chosen. You're here to become the man who, when she arrives, she knows she's stepping into something solid. If something in this video woke you up, if one line made you pause and think, "I've been missing this," that's a signal. Not from me, from the man within you, still waiting to be called forward. Don't let this be just another video. Pick one thing only, and start changing today. If you found value here, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, subscribe. This isn't a channel for men looking for dating hacks. It's for the man who wants to become the foundation, not the option. And if you're truly ready, drop this in the comments. I don't change to be chosen. I change to become unshakable. I'll see you again, not where the applause is loud, but where men are quiet and strong. Thank you for staying till the end. And as always, I'll see you in tomorrow's video.